For your time today. After hearing the disappointing performance for fiscal year 2016, our group, consisting of Michelle Medlin, Jennifer Meyers, Michael Rupp, Atchyuta Sanagavarapu, and Shannon Wrigley, and myself, Ashley Grindstaff, came together to assess Fitbit's internal and external environment along with their financial condition. We have combined our analysis to create a solution to provide the strategy changes required to improve Fitbit's position in the wearable industry. Atchyuta will kick us off by discussing our external analysis.
Thank you, Ashley. Hello, everyone. We will begin with an external analysis of the wearables industry. To understand the inner dynamics of this industry, we will analyze five forces model. According to this model, the key determinants of success are threat of new entrants, threat of substitutes, bargaining power of buyers, bargaining power of suppliers, and industry rivalry. Threat of new entrants. Entry barriers are high. Wearables industry requires millions of dollars to set up manufacturing plants and develop necessary technology. Typical designs of these devices require hundreds of parts for which good relations with suppliers is a must. Also, relationships with retailers and brand reputations favor the existing firms. Hence, competitive pressures from the new entrants are weak. Threat of substitutes. Wearables have many substitutes in the form of mobile apps. Many smartphones have built-in apps like Health on iPhone, which is absolutely free. There are some other apps that can be downloaded onto smartphones with a small fee. Though these smartphone applications are not as convenient as wearables, they still appeal to some section of the customers who are price conscious. Hence, the competitive pressures from the substitute products are moderate to strong. Bargaining power of buyers. Apart from Fitbit, there are many reputed brands such as Garmin, TomTom, Misfit, and Samsung compete in the market. Each of these brands offer similar product lines with comparable prices. Existence of other popular brands coupled with the availability of substitute products provide great bargaining power to buyers. Hence, we can conclude that the bargaining power of buyers in this industry is strong. Now, Michelle will continue with the rest of the analysis.
Thank you, Atchyuta. We will continue the external analysis with the bargaining power of suppliers. Bulk purchases and multiple available vendors give Fitbit the advantage over suppliers. The market has become saturated with many companies utilizing the same technology. Richard Waters wrote in the Financial Times that recent changes in the consumer hardware supply chain have made it easier and cheaper for startups to get into the hardware game. We have determined the competitive pressure from the bargaining power of suppliers is weak. The last force we will cover is industry rivalry. Rivalry amongst existing companies is high in the wearables industry. Fitness devices are no longer a new product. Competitors are numerous. Best Buy lists over 60 brand names for wearables, including well-known companies like Garmin and Apple. Fitbit does have a good brand position amongst rivals. Tech Radar, an online source for the tech buying advice, ranks Fitbit Charge 2 as the best fitness tracker you can buy. Many competitors offer a similar variety of products and price ranges. The competitive pressures from the industry rivalry amongst competing sellers is strong. The overall assessment of the five forces helps identify industries that support high profitability. Understanding the competitive environment promotes the success of implementing a strategy that creates a competitive advantage. There are more competitive challenges when multiple forces are strong. Having one very strong force may be enough to make the industry unattractive in terms of its profit potential. Strategically implementing one of the five basic strategies can provide high profitability when there are multiple strong forces. The wearables industry fits that situation. There are strong forces in substitute, buyer power and industry rivalry. The most significant external concern is the bargaining power of buyers. This drives the motivation to increase R&D costs and creates constant pressure to beat competition to the market. Consumers today are more informed and demand an inverse relationship between functionality and price. I will now hand it over to Atchyuta to review our strategic group map.
Thanks, Michelle. Now let's look at a strategic group map. Wearables industry is completely dominated by 6 major players. They are Fitbit, Apple, Xiaomi, Garmin, TomTom, and Samsung. There are other brands, but their market shares are small. We considered these 6 major players to understand the strategic approaches used in this industry. We created a strategic group map using average price and diversity of products as the variables. As we can see in the map, Fitbit is the market leader and has a close competition with Garmin and TomTom. They all have broad range of products and within medium price range. Fitbit also offers products at the lower end of the price range. Xiaomi offers its product line completely at the lower end of the price spectrum with relatively fewer options than the market leader Fitbit. Interestingly, no other major player is competing with Xiaomi for this lower end of the market. At the very high end of the market, two popular brands competing with each other. They are Apple and Samsung. Both offer relatively fewer product options. Apple completely dominates this market segment. It is evident from the strategic map that there are two favorable market positions in this industry. One in the medium price range with broad product options, the market segment in which Fitbit competes with Garmin and TomTom, and the other one is the high end of the market segment where Apple competes with Samsung. Like many industries, high-end market is the most lucrative segment even in the wearables industry. This segment is fast growing and Apple has a strong hold over this segment with its popular smartwatch. In recent months, the industry trends indicate that this high-end segment is under threat from the strategic moves made by other dominant players. Fitbit's recent acquisition of Pebble is one example. Now, Michael will continue with financial analysis.
Thank you, Atchyuta. Fitbit had some highs and lows financially in 2016. Sales for Fitbit have continuously climbed each year. In 2016, sales were over 2.1 billion. In 2015, the sales were 1.8 billion and 745 million in 2014. With the increase in sales and the changing product line, Fitbit was expected to see an increase in expenses for research and development. Each year, R&D costs have increased, but in 2016, the R&D totaled over 320 million. The increase from 2015 is over 170 million. While there was an increase in sales in 2016, the additional expenses incurred brought a $112 million operating loss for Fitbit. This is a major change from 2015, when an operating profit of 348 was recognized. After interest income and income tax expenses were recorded, Fitbit recorded a negative net income of over 102 million. The financial summary on the right shows a dramatic increase in gross profit and operating expenses from 2012. While both are expected to trend in the same direction, in 2016 the operating expenses exceeded the gross profit, which accounted for the loss that is stated above. On the next 4 slides, we have put together some of the benchmark ratios to compare Fitbit to its competitors in the overall wearable industry. In 2016, Fitbit's gross profit margin was right in line with its competitors and the overall industry at 45.82%. Fitbit's current ratio was 1.94. The only direct competitor exceeding Fitbit was Garmin. While Fitbit has signs of weakness in other financial measures, their current assets are sufficient to cover their current liabilities. The two activity ratios that are displayed are the days of inventory and the inventory turnover. Fitbit's inventory is held on average 63 days. This is lower than the industry average, but is higher than TomTom. The inventory turnover is calculated by dividing cost of goods sold by inventory. Fitbit's inventory turnover is 5.75 compared to the industry average, which is 4.75. This slide covers two leverage ratios. The first is Fitbit's total debt to assets, which exceeds its industry rivals. The debt to equity ratio also shows that Fitbit is carrying more debt respectively compared to their competitors. Fitbit's total liabilities increased from $508 million to $761 million in 2016. This was a material increase for Fitbit compared to the increase in total assets and equity. Next, we will have Jen cover the internal analysis.
Thanks, Michael. Now I will discuss Fitbit's vision, mission, and values. Its vision is the dedication to helping people lead healthier, more active lives. The mission is to empower and inspire you to live a healthier, more active life. We design products and experiences that fit seamlessly into your life so you can achieve your health and fitness goals, whatever they may be. And lastly, the values are to inspire customers to live healthier lives and to design products that help customers reach their fitness and/or health goals. This slide identifies Fitbit's major threats and weaknesses. Later on, Shannon will discuss Fitbit's opportunities and strengths. This is also known as the Taos analysis, which is a modified version of a SWOT analysis, which assesses the internal and external environment. As stated in the graph, Fitbit's threats are its competitors, the ever-changing customer tastes, liability and credibility claims, and new entrants. As for the weaknesses, those include misguided acquisitions and a lack of internal development. A major threat to Fitbit's position and growth is its competitors. For instance, Apple's fitness tracking watches attract younger, more image-conscious consumers who want their wearable technology to do more than just count steps. In addition, the release of tracking devices by well-known brands with significant customer loyalty like Nike threaten Fitbit's market position. Fitbit's second threat is its lack of credibility in health and fitness. One specific example is with the Fitbit Charge and Fitbit Surge. Both Fitbit brands feature a heart rate monitor and have a higher price point for this feature. However, consumers have claimed that the readings are not accurate. In fact, lawsuits against Fitbit claim users have found inaccuracies in the Fitbit devices after measuring their pulse manually or with other equipment. These threats imply that Fitbit has to stay on the edge of technological advances so as to keep ahead of the pack. Fitbit's weakness boils down to its inefficient growth strategy by means of misguided acquisitions and lack of internal development. Fitbit has heavy reliance on third-party suppliers, contract manufacturers, and logistics providers. Fitbit ultimately has little control over these entities, and product delays from third parties negatively impact Fitbit's own bottom line and reputation. Now Shannon will discuss opportunities and strengths.
Thanks, Jen. Fitbit has several opportunities and strengths which are listed in the diagram above. Opportunities include a relatively new market for wearable fitness trackers, an increase in health consciousness among consumers, and the opportunity for product enhancements. Fitbit's strengths include product capabilities and their impressive 3-axis accelerometer technology. Wearable fitness tracking is a relatively new market that is still expanding. Thus, Fitbit has a lot of opportunities for growth and improvement. Consumers are becoming more health conscious and the reliance on technology is ever increasing. For Fitbit, there's an opportunity to incorporate mobile technology into their devices. Additionally, as a means to reduce health costs, corporations are using fitness trackers to motivate employees to be more mindful about their health. And many corporations are already using Fitbit as their fitness tracker of choice. Securing a foothold with corporate customers offers a tremendous expansion opportunity for Fitbit. Fitbit has been able to capitalize over their competitors by becoming one of the first startups in the fitness wearable industry. By having a first mover advantage, it has enhanced brand awareness and established a strong customer loyalty. Fitbit technology and capabilities are also impressive. Fitbit has made keeping track of activities, heart rate, calories burned, and even sleep quality extremely simple. There is no need to open an app and hit start. The Fitbit device tracks everything automatically by using a 3-axis accelerometer to understand and analyze motions. This makes Fitbit extremely simple to use. The Weighted Competitive Strength Assessment helps answer the question, does the company have a net competitive advantage or disadvantage versus its major competitors? The above analysis reveals that Fitbit's overall weighted competitive strength is 6.60, while Garmin and TomTom score 6.45 and 5.45 respectively. Fitbit has an impressive competitive lead compared to TomTom. However, the overall weighted competitive strength rating between Fitbit and Garmin are much closer, indicating that Garmin is a viable competitor. Although Fitbit, TomTom, and Garmin have similar ratings in many areas, Fitbit's overall strength is still strong when compared to its rivals. The major component that sets Fitbit apart from its competitors is its reputation, which has resulted in an impressive market share. Fitbit was the largest seller of wearable devices in the fourth quarter of 2016. It dominated 29.5% of the market share, compared to Garmin at 3.5% and TomTom at less than 1%.
Thank you. After a comprehensive analysis of Fitbit's external and internal environments, as well as financial ratios, we have determined there are inefficiencies that need to be addressed. The central internal problem is the current growth strategy, acquisitions, and internal development has failed to capitalize on current assets, specifically the recently acquired technology and capabilities. We have reviewed many options for improvements. We have narrowed the options down to 3. First, we could utilize our technology and capabilities to improve our credibility in regards to healthcare with improved quality and features. We could start by adding additional features to the Fitbit Blaze to position this smart fitness watch to compete against other smart watches. Alternatively, we could increase the utilization of in-house capabilities to increase profits by altering the current distribution channels. Fitbit could increase control of product movement and profits by only allowing direct sales. Finally, as an alternative, Fitbit could update their strategy to best cost provider and create a new Fitbit product that capitalizes on the technology and capabilities from recent acquisitions. We recommend Fitbit takes a focused initiative to update their strategy and increase the return on investments. It is time to capitalize on the cutting-edge technology and capabilities from recent acquisitions. It is time for the Fitbit Ascend. Fitbit can provide the autonomous smartwatch the world has been waiting for. It can be available by second quarter of 2018. I will now hand it over to Shannon to review our strategy description.
Fitbit Fitbit's new strategy should be to adopt the best cost provider strategy. Fitbit will combine the use of high-quality material and production processes with strong cost controls in production and logistics to provide a higher quality smartwatch comparable to those offered by high-price brands, such as Apple, but at a lower price. This combination results in a very attractive value proposition for the customer. And now that we've identified the best strategy for Fitbit, let's discuss the implementation plan.
Thank you, Shannon. Our implementation plan builds upon our analysis and follows the ascend through development, testing, and finally to the launch phase. Our team has done extensive work as part of the idea generation screening phase as well as the business analysis phase, and we feel that second quarter fiscal year 2018 is attainable for putting Ascend on the market. We have also projected revenue and expenditure estimates if Fitbit decides to continue with their current strategy or chooses our solution to add the Ascend to their product line. Michael will now discuss these projections with a little more detail.
Thank you, Ashley. The two separate projections were put together with the assumptions that Fitbit would not change their current strategy and if they updated their strategy based on our recommendations. The first set of income statements are for their current strategy. The trends that were recorded include a decrease in revenue of 2% each year. The other two trends are for the research and development expenses and the selling, general, and admin expenses to decrease 1% and 2% respectively per year. Based on the current strategy, we are projecting that Fitbit will report a negative net income for each of the next 5 years. The second set of projections yield more favorable results. In the current year, we are not projecting a change in total revenue. Two areas that will see change in the current year are research and development and selling, general, and admin expenses. The expenses are projected to increase by 2% and 1% respectively. For calendar years 2018 through 2021, we are projecting an increase in revenue of 5% each year. The bulk of the research and development costs were incurred in 2016 and 2017. We are projecting a decrease of 2% per year in R&D cost and 1% per year in selling, general, and admin. The current projections show Fitbit's financial position trending in the right direction after a difficult year in 2016. Now we'll send it back to Ashley to continue on with the implementation plan.
Thank you, Michael. The development of Ascend will take place in the third and fourth quarters of fiscal year 2017. Heavy emphasis for features will be put on the feedback that Fitbit customers give, as well as research from earlier phases. The testing phase will begin in the first quarter of fiscal year 18 by starting production and introducing Ascend to the market through focus groups. Features and compatibility will go through rigorous testing in advance of the product launch at the beginning of the second quarter of 2018. We feel strongly that adding a smartwatch to Fitbit's product line will be the best decision for Fitbit's financial longevity. According to Canalys's forecast, in the coming years, 5 years, the smartwatch market is likely to grow at an increasing rate, and the total units that will be sold will reach the 200 million mark. Interestingly, there is no smartwatch that meets the consumer expectations of having everything: style, features, long battery life, and moreover comfort is in one wearable. Also, the company has well-established R&D resources to launch the new product. This will not only enable the company to grab the excellent opportunity, but also enables the company to extend its product line in the high-end market segment. We hope you consider our solution. Thank you for your time.